football right now, people are going, is it going to be Cleveland against Golden State or Boston against Golden State? Like, you know right now, most likely what the Final Four teams are going to be for the conference championships in the NBA. And so you go through this weird grind of a season, and the NFL has set it up where it's like, no, you can be the LA Rams. You can go from worst in the division to first in the division, really in a 1 year span. You get the right coach with the right quarterback, and you turn it around. So,
who do we like? We like the Saints, don't we?
Yeah, I like the Saints.
I like the Rams, and I like the Saints.
I am one, though, and this is going to make people mad. I don't mind if you can take the emotion out. I hate the Patriots, but I admire the Patriots.
Yeah.
Because if what they do is unprecedented. You have a team that year in and year out puts themselves in a position to win the Super Bowl. And that just, I don't know what the secret code, some people go, they're cheaters. Maybe they cheated a little bit, but man, they go out there every year and have a legit chance to win, and the other teams just don't do it.
So this year in the NFL, as far as eyeballs on television sets, they're down almost 10%. It was like 9.6%. I still think people are checking in on their mobile devices, and they haven't figured out a good way to track that yet. And hopefully they'll figure that out in time, because I imagine there's just as much traffic out there.
Like Twitter and Amazon could not back a Brinks truck up fast enough to pay for the digital.
So I think the eyeballs are there, even though people say they've turned away from the game because of some of the things that the Seahawks were actually engaged in this year. And Pete Carroll talked about this.
Yeah, he was on with Brock and Salk on 780 ESPN and was asked, hey, did some of the politics and things that were going on this season, was that tough on you guys?
You know, I think it had an effect in the game out there that week in Tennessee. Yeah, I do think it had an effect. I think it had an effect on a lot of teams, a lot of players. It was an extraordinarily heated time, and I think that was a different amount of emotional output that occurred before the game, and you know, it looked like it the way we played. You know, it looked like it took its toll. And, you know, we had gone through the whole process and done what we did, that we needed to do it, and we couldn't avoid it. We had to face it, and we had to deal with it. And the other team called us up and said, well, what are you guys going to do? And we're going to do this. And so they said, okay, we'll do that too. I don't know if they went through the same process we went through or not. I don't know. But I know we did. And, you know, honestly, if I could have done something about it, I would have. I don't think there was anything we needed to face it.
Yeah, and that's where the players wanted to respond to President Trump and his tweet, and so the Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans decided to stay in the tunnel during the national anthem. I don't know about you. I like when young players grow up before our eyes. And we talked about Doug Baldwin before. A guy who was pooping a football a couple of years ago in a really important game called the Super Bowl. You look at who Doug Baldwin is now, just a couple of years later, and who he was then. He's changed before our eyes. And I think sometimes the platforms that these players have, we forget the ages that are attached to those platforms. And some of these guys, man, are just 23, 24, 25 years old. And they have these platforms on social media. They have this platform because of the job that they do. And I think even if you look at Colin Kaepernick right now, I think one of the smartest things that he decided to do was to be quiet. Because when he tried to share his message, he didn't share it very well. And hopefully he's figuring that out. And when he decides to speak again, because I'm still confused about exactly what his message is. And I think that's what we saw happen in the National Football Team League this year. We saw players that wanted to unite. They just didn't know how. Everybody had a different message. And then the wheels fell off because it looked like you're disrespecting the military, you're disrespecting first responders, and first responders.
Can I be a little critical of Pete Carroll, though?
Sure.
Because he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's in the Seattle Times article, I just hope we can take care of this stuff in the offseason. He's completely missing the whole message. If that's what he took away from this, that race relations in America, that we could just take care of that in the offseason,
right,
and then we can play football during the regular season, then he's missing what the whole thing is about.
He and Earl Thomas think that way.
Right.
Earl probably thinks the same. Earl just wants to play football.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at a guy like Michael Bennett and the saga that he had, and then he went to Las Vegas, and that whole thing that happened in Las Vegas with where he thought there was a gun held to his head, and I think the legal proceeding, they're still going forward in that. You are talking about systemic racial things, and you brought up Colin Kaepernick. did that guy never get a job in the NFL? When you look at all of the quarterbacks that went down, including including Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre for all we know.
Right.
But look at all the quarterbacks that went down in the league, and all the times he could have stepped in and been a better quarterback. The Washington Post did a great thing where they had an interactive chart every week of, is your quarterback better than Colin Kaepernick? And these dots would move around. It's fascinating to watch because sometimes you'd log into that and there would be half the quarterbacks in the league are worse than Colin Kaepernick. So if Coach Carroll's takeaway was, let's solve this stuff on your off time, then he's missed it. Then he's not as tuned in as enlightened as I thought that he was, because these players don't get to clean out their locker and then not be black now when they go to their off season. They're still young black men. If you still go to Vegas and you run, a cop is still more likely to think that you committed a crime than if a white guy is running down the same street. So those biases are still there, and I hope that he just misspoke, because I think that he's more in tune than that, but he said that, and I found that to be disappointing.
Yeah. Hey, coming up next, we're going to check the cars with Tracy Taylor, and then right after that, did you know there were black Confederate soldiers back in the day that fought in the Carolinas?
Really?
Well, they want to put a statue up of a black Confederate soldier to honor them. Problem is, no historians can find them. Is history lying to us again? We'll talk about it next. It's the Ron and Don Show on Kyle Radio. All right, here we go. Hey, Don here for our good friends at Les Schwab. Hey, just want to thank everybody for coming out during the holidays. You brought out tens of thousands of toys, and I don't have the final toy count. I'll get that here in the next couple of days. Last year, you gave over 30,000 toys. So that was really cool. Les Schwab wants to thank you for that. Also, don't forget, it is the winter driving season, and you're going to see some rough weather here over the next couple of days. You may want to stop by Les Schwab Tire Center, especially if you're going to head in the mountains. And you're going to do some skiing, do some snowboarding, something like that. Stop by Les Schwab Tire Center and ask them to do a free pre-trip safety check. What does that mean? It just means that you are road trip ready. They're going to make sure that the battery cranks over. They're going to make sure that your brakes are good to go. You go see the other guys, they charge you a couple $100 to do something like that. Les Schwab, they do it for free. Don't forget, if you buy a tire for the life of the tire, everything is free. All right? Hey, find a tire center close to you. All you have to do is go to LesSchwab.com. That's LesSchwab.com. Les Schwab, let's say it together in 2018. Doing the right thing, it matters.
Time for a healthy home for the new year. Right now, Alpine Specialty Cleaning is offering a New Year's discount for air duct cleaning.
Spray paint it that way if you want it to look good, deal. And I think the biggest danger of what the president is doing in Iran right now is he's sending a signal to North Korea that North Korea could not trust the United States to live up to a nuclear deal. We should be exhausting our diplomatic opportunities, and there are still opportunities with North Korea to limit their nuclear program. But the president's activities have basically been to undermine diplomacy, and again, that makes America less safe.
Okay, first of all, it's really great that the atomic energy, people have said, hey, this deal's working well. It's particularly great since, they can know that having not been allowed to inspect the buildings because Russia's guarding them and not letting the atomic inspectors in. So it's good that they feel like the deal's working. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. You know what I'd like to hear? I want to hear Guns N' Roses remake that. I was working with Brandon here in New York, who was kind enough to help get the show going. He's got a podcast, and it's a Guns N' Roses related podcast, so I'm saying that for his benefit. Brandon, hook me up. I'm going to get Axel and the guys to cover that song, Feelings, Nothing More Than Feelings. Come back on the Todd Herman Show. Roll over into just a few more things. A radio experiment. Can we do this from a remote studio? Can it be done? Can it sound smooth like it always does when I'm there? We're going to give it a shot and have prayers for producer Jeff, because I know the PD is listening, man. He's going to see if Jeff can fire this thing off. We'll do all that right now and check traffic with Right Way Traffic.
That minor crush in Everett is still out there on northbound I-5 right before 41st. A couple of cars from the shoulder. Sorry about this to 526, though. Going to be slow southbound I-5 from Lake City Way bumper to Mercer. This traffic report brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. You're listening to AM 770 KTTH.
Following this breaking news this morning on the JC.
The AM 770 KTTH mobile app is the best source for breaking news from your favorite local conservative voices. Read the latest stories from KTTH.com. Listen to full episodes from Jason Rantz and Todd Herman.
Get to this morning, including a
Get
story
breaking news notifications and listen to exclusive podcasts.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. No matter where you are, listen to me, Rush, Medved, and Todd Herman using the AM 770 KTTH mobile app.
Driven by the Absolute Return Solutions podcast.
You would sit down and write out the number of zeros that you would go behind the amount of money you paid for your car or your kid's car. Those zeros add up. Right? And then have you ever taken the time to see how much time you actually spent figured out where to take that car that cost you so much money? I mean, maybe it's the place on the corner, maybe it's the dealer. I can tell you, Jeff's Auto is a place to go for anything mechanical for your car. 37 years in business, 5 locations all around the Puget Sound. They do free AAA road inspections, AAA approved, and they're family. And they provide a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty for all of their mechanical repairs. JeffsAuto.com is where you can sign up to be a part of the family. They'd love to see you. That's JeffsAuto.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz for Code Fellows, Seattle's coding boot camp. No matter where you are in life, whether you're an Army vet in Tacoma, an accountant in Bellevue, or a nanny in Mukilteo, whether you're a recent college grad or have been working for the last couple decades, you need to learn computer programming. I spoke with one of their graduates. Her name is Ray. She went from nanny and yoga instructor to coder thanks to Code Fellows.
Something my dad used to say to me is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and it's also today. I think that's true about coding too. It doesn't matter how old you are or what your background is. You can bring your unique experience and perspective to that field because it's everywhere.
Good investment, Code Fellows?
Absolutely. It turned my life around.
It's a new year, the perfect time for a new career. Attend a Code 101 course to get the ball rolling. It's just $99, and at the end of the day, you're going to know if coding is right for you. Sign up for Code 101 at Code Fellows Seattle campus on January 13th or down in Lakewood on the 14th. Register right now. Go to codefellows.com/KTTH. That's codefellows.com/KTTH.
From new equipment and training to community outreach, the Seattle Police Foundation has been supporting local officers for more than 15 years.
Amidst all the rhetoric that they have to hear, the Foundation is able to say, there's this huge community out there, and here are our voices, in that we support you, we appreciate everything that you do, your courage, that you go out and regardless, protect and serve.
They funded more than 275 grant requests, from training for bike cops to maintaining the mounted patrol. Foundation President Laura Mather says lately the requests have been changing a bit.
Turning more from equipment desires to community engagement activities. You know, the coffee with a cop, and these guys have big hearts, but we need the community support because everything that we do does come from community funding. We really don't have any government type funding whatsoever.
And that's why we're proud to partner with the Seattle Seahawks, Carter Subaru, and 3010 Weight Loss for Life in honoring the Seattle Police Foundation as our charity of the month. You can learn more at mynorthwest.com.
At 3010 Weight Loss for Life, it's not just about what you eat, it's about how you think and feel about food and how you plan. Learn more at 3010 Weight Loss for Life.
This is Todd Herman. For a doctor you can trust for your car, I recommend Jeff's Auto Repair. Checkups, repair, trip inspections, fair and honest pricing. That's Jeff's Auto Repair, jeffsauto.com.
You're listening to The Todd Herman Show, live and local on AM 770 KTTH, Conservative Talk Radio.
Afternoon Drive, Talk Radio in Seattle of a conservative bent. My name is Todd Herman. You can tweet me at Toddy Herman. The email is blowing up. I'm going to have to do like 2 segments on email. We've got a lot of them, and we've gotten behind on that, but you can use that, therman at kthh.com. We get to your email, social media posts, other forms of communication with the show about 4:45. But right now, We gave ourselves an award for this feature because ain't no one else going to give us an award for this feature. We take news items and we slice them up. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're less so, sometimes there's a theme, other times there's no theme. We put them all together into a mishmash that we call this.
Just a few more things.
That's what we call it. That way it gives us some breathing room at the end of the first segment. Worry not, as you're about to see.